Hello, this is Lisette. We're going to read the daily devotional with this book that I'm inspired by so much, called Inspired Evidence by Bruce Malone and Julie Von Vett. I've left off from my last video reading March 21st, and I said in the last video I was going to read basically a whole week's worth because I missed all these days due to an emergency family circumstance where I had two loved ones pass away. But nonetheless, I'm going to continue this inspirational devotional reading. This book is great. I love it, and I want to share it with you guys with the author's permission, of course. So today I'm going to read March 21st, and I'll make a pause after I'm done with each date's reading, because it's a yearly devotional book. And so I'm going to read all the way to today, which is March 26. Let's start. Inspired by Biology, March 21st, reads, "The butterfly feeds on the sap of spring trees, which leaks from injuries and buds. The morning cloak butterfly also has mostly black on its wings that act like solar collectors, absorbing the heat from the sun. This allows this cold-blooded insect to move around readily in the still cool springtime. This butterfly is not the only one that hibernates. There are several other butterflies and many other creatures that make antifreeze in the fall and hibernate through the winter. How did the first morning cloak butterfly learn to make an antifreeze? God designed this butterfly to survive the brutal winter as an adult butterfly. The next time you see a butterfly very early in the spring, chances are it is a butterfly that was designed to make antifreeze. Man has been intelligent from the beginning of time. Here are just a couple examples." Let's pause for a minute or a few seconds. Now I'm reading March 22, inspired by history. In 1900, near the island of Antikythera, Greek, divers found an ancient shipwreck from about 65 BC. Recovered from the wreck was a complex mechanical computer. The Antikythera mechanism used up to 72 bronze gears to compute the motions of the moon, sun, and planets. It also used a differential gear concept, which was not invented until the 17th century AD. A strange relic made by the Parthians, 250 BC to AD 224, was recently found in southern Iran. Inside a simple earthenware jar was a copper cylinder with an iron rod inside. The parts were soldered with a 60 by 40 tin/lead alloy and were cemented with asphaltum. When a General Electric engineer made a replica and added grape juice, it immediately began producing a steady half-volt of electricity. Using this current, he electroplated a silver statuette with gold. It was not until 1799 that Alessandro Volta discovered how to make an electrical battery, and the early 1800s that Michael Faraday invented electroplating. We regularly read reports of amazing accomplishments of ancient civilizations because ancient peoples were not primitive brutes, but extremely brilliant and innovative people. Adam and Eve were created highly intelligent by God. Adam named the animals before Eve was even created. That means he observed the characteristics of each animal and instantly gave each a suitable name. God made man intelligent from the beginning. That's that. Now let's continue with March 23, inspired by botany. Have you truly appreciated your dandelions? those unstoppable weeds which plague your perfect lawn? How does this weed send out seeds and spread so rapidly? Each plant sends out hundreds of seeds carried away by the wind to other parts of your lawn, like miniature parachuting commandos. A strong wind can carry these seeds for miles, but how do they get their miniature parachutes airborne? To be effective, the seeds need to be released high above the grass, yet dandelion leaves hug close to the ground so that photosynthesis, plant food production, can continue. Or maybe they just know they need to stay low so that the mower can't chop them off. Have you noticed that when it wants to seed, the dandelion sends up a tubular stem that towers above the grass? Even if you just mowed it down the day before, up, and away goes the stem and the dandelion parachutes, flying all over your lawn. The master designer knows how to produce a design that works. One other thought on these supposedly useless weeds. If grown in pesticide-free lawns, the young, tender leaves of dandelions are an easily absorbed source of boron and calcium, quite healthy and delicious on your fresh salad. Nice. Did you know that you can eat those? Have you considered that man is not an animal? College textbooks and nature centers often declare that man is an animal. Evolutionary thinking reduces us to mere animals by promoting the idea that we are the product of random forces of nature. Let's pause again. It gets better and better. March 24. Inspired by Christian truth. Yes, we do have mammalian characteristics. However, we are not just animals. So, what makes us different than animals? Man can be rational. He can construct arguments, use logic, and draw conclusions. Do you see lions in prolonged debates at lion universities? Man has remarkable languages with vast vocabularies, intricate grammar, and an ability to have deep conversations. Man even has the ability to write his language down. Do you ever see a duck writing books? Man has the longing to Man has the longing to know why. He studies medicine, astronomy, math, etc. Do you see chickens pondering the universe? Man can recognize beauty. He can admire roses in a garden and a painting on the wall. Do you ever see a raccoon stopping to watch a sunset over a lake? Man is creative and imaginative. He develops music, dance, and drama. Have you ever seen cats performing Shakespeare? Man has a sense of humor. He delights in a good laugh. Do you see apes telling jokes? And what animal desires to worship its creator? Man is remarkably different than animals. Mankind was made in the image of God. Many theologians still accept an idea called the gap theory, popularized by Cyrus Ingerson Scofield between 1843 and 1921, and promoted by Notes in his Bible translation for almost a century. Scofield and subsequent theologians, influenced by the 18th century non-Christian geologists, added millions of years to the biblical narrative. The logic of these theologians is as follows. If the earth's rock layers are millions of years old, Noah's flood could have not created these sediment layers. Therefore, the record of death in these rocks must be the result of some previous tragedy. Therefore, there must be missing time within the Bible's narrative of earth history, i.e., a gap in the Genesis narrative. But Scofield and others found this gap within Genesis 1:2 that they interpreted as a reforming of the original creation from a state of chaos after the judgment of Satan via a pre-Adam flood upon the earth. There are huge problems with this idea. First, it is totally non-credible to any geologist. so it does not reconcile the Bible to science. Second, it is totally speculative with essentially no direct textual support. Third, it attributes the rock record of the planet to a flood which is not mentioned in the Bible and totally ignores the flood which Genesis does talk about. This is deep. March 25th is the next reading, and it's inspired by biblical accuracy. According to the gap theory, Noah's flood, which is described in the Bible, had no effect on the geology of the planet, while a mythical Lucifer's flood, which the Bible does not mention, did create all the geology of the planet. In an effort to make the Bible more credible, Schofield and others ultimately destroyed its credibility. In Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe, there stands an 18-story shopping complex built with no mechanical heating or cooling system. Yet the temperature inside remains comfortable year-round. This design even uses 90% less energy as compared to a conventional building. How are the architects able to do this? The building is designed with a series of interior ventilation ducts that allow outside breezes to moderate the temperature throughout the building. The design of the building was inspired by the design of termite mounds found across the plains of southern Africa. They show God's design for building air movement. And last but not least, for today, we're reading March 26, which today is March 26, 2024. This is inspired by biology. These above-ground termite mounds can exceed 10 feet in height and hold colonies of 15,000 adult termites. Although the outside air temperature varies from 35 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, the interior temperature never fluctuates beyond 87 plus or negative 1 degree Fahrenheit. This temperature is required to keep fungus, which is grown by the termites as their food source, alive. How do the termites maintain such tight temperature control within their mounds? They constantly open and close an intricate series of ventilation vents located throughout the mound. The network of tunnels resembles the veins and arteries of our circulatory system and works to move air and the corresponding heat to maintain a perfectly turned internal mound temperature. Even brilliant architects can learn from these small creatures because the wisdom of their creator is reflected by their abilities and instincts. Okay, we know much about dinosaurs because of the rapid burial and fossilization of their bones. The conditions has to be just right for this to have happened. So many dinosaur skin impressions have been found that scientists have excellent information on the surface appearance of some dinosaurs. In order for them to be preserved, oxygen could not be present, otherwise decay would take place. The dinosaurs had to be rapidly covered with enough sediment to stop decay as the skin impressions turned to stone. In Dinosaur Provincial Park, Alberta, Canada, scientists have estimated that there are more than 3,000 bone beds, some of which contain millions of bones. Bone beds are found worldwide and contain billions of bones. Scientists believe that bone beds are excellent evidence for very fast-moving water that carried decaying animals along until they were buried and fossilized. And that concludes March 26. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to continue tomorrow reading the daily devotional readings. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos and this book. Remember, you can get it at the website searchforthetruth.net. So have a good one and God bless you. Bye.